The further we get from her historic electoral defeat at the hands of President Trump, the more unhinged Hillary Clinton becomes. Case in point, it appears the former Secretary of State has moved on from endlessly blaming everybody but herself and her campaign staff for the many miscalculations made along the way. Many have joked that Clinton probably couldn't point out Wisconsin on a map, to actively soliciting enemies of the US to interfere on behalf of the Democrats in 2020. Of course, there's still plenty of evidence that Russia did exactly that back in 2016. This thread was explored in more detail during AG Barr's Wednesday hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee, but that didn't stop Clinton from publicly asking China to step in and give the Democrats a boost against Trump during the 2020 race during an appearance on, Where Else?, The Rachel Maddow Show. Specifically, she asked the Chinese to steal Trump's tax returns, which the Democrats have been having more trouble obtaining than they had probably expected. Imagine, Rachel, that you had one of the Democratic nominees for 2020 on your show, and that person said, "You know, the only other adversary of ours who is anywhere near as good as the Russians is China," Clinton told Maddow. "So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us? And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you." Clinton clearly saw about Mueller's findings, said China's interference, which, according to the Trump administration, is already happening, could be part of a great power contest. "Let's have a great power contest, and let's get the Chinese in on the side of somebody else," she added. "Just saying, that shows how absurd the situation we find ourselves in." She added that the number one thing she learned from reading the Mueller report was that the Russians interfered in the 2016 race to boost Trump, and that they haven't been held accountable, that is, except for all the sanctions, and the indictments and the, well, you know. Asked for her thoughts on the Barr hearing, Clinton said she thought Democrats on the Senate Judiciary Committee did a good job exposing Barr as the president's defense lawyer. Note: WSJ's editorial board has offered plenty of evidence to the contrary. "I think that the Democrats on the committee did a good job today in exposing that he is the president's defense lawyer," Clinton said. "He is not the Attorney General of the United States in the way that he has conducted himself." Of course, Clinton's comments were intentionally meant to mimic Trump's now famous campaign-era joke that Russia steal Clinton's missing emails and hand them over to the Republicans. We now wait for Clinton to clarify that she, too, was just kidding.